Welcome back, sports bettors. This is Jeff Makinen at DRF Sports. I'm here to handicap the Saturday afternoon SEC matchup as Florida visits Missouri. The game will start at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be utilizing the DRF Sports Matchup Tool, which is an informative resource for all your handicapping information needs. It's part of your DRF Sports subscription, which also includes the DRF Sports Forum, which is a PDF weekly tip sheet packed with everything you need to win during the football season. This tip sheet also includes our handicapper picks, and at the end of this video, I will be sharing with you who our handicappers like as a consensus pick on this game. Florida is currently a 7-point favorite with an over-under of 51.5. The line moved up a half point from Florida 6.5 to 7. Total has shot up from 48 to 51.5. In the game simulator, estimate number 1, Florida projected to win 32-22. Estimate number 2, as you can see, 30-27, and the power line has Florida by 9. Averaging those three together to get a consensus line, it's going to be Florida at just a hair over 7. So this line is right on the money. There is some value betting the over. That would be roughly 55.5 between the two estimates. Roughly 4 points of value there to the over on that game. Florida comes into this game with an outside shot of still getting to the SEC championship game and winning the Eastern Division. They would need some help, and they would need Georgia to lose a couple games here, but they're still mathematically alive in the race. Jumping into our betting angles, a couple under trends did stick out here. As coach of Missouri, Barry Odom is 16-7 under during the second half of the season. And Missouri overall is 8-2 under in the second half of the season over the last 2 years. So what that tells me as I look at this is Missouri's offense has tended to struggle, and the games have gotten a lot more lower scoring as they've entered into the heart of SEC play. They probably run up their stats early against non-conference foes and then struggle when they get into the SEC conference. And as you'll see, is if I look at their game results, it is happening again this season. Mizzou got off to a nice 5-1 start, but since then the season actually has been falling apart. They've lost to bottom teams of the SEC, Vanderbilt and Kentucky, 14-21 and 7-29 respectively. And last week were humiliated 27-0 by Georgia as a 19-point underdog. So you can see over those last 3 games, Missouri has just 3 touchdowns and a total of 21 points total. Florida, as I mentioned, still an outside shot of the SEC championship game. They did win their previous game over Vanderbilt 56-0. It's the same Vanderbilt team that did defeat Missouri. Into the head-to-head section, Missouri has actually won the last 2 games, but I actually look at this as probably more of a motivational tool for Florida to exact some revenge, maybe a double revenge situation here for the Gators. Missouri did win handily 38-17 at Florida last season. The prior year 45-16, so 2 embarrassing defeats handed to the Gators by Mizzou over the last 2 years. One more section to look at in the injuries. One thing that has affected Missouri, their star quarterback Kelly Bryant has been banged up with a hamstring injury, which he suffered in the game against Kentucky. He is expected to play. However, we're not really sure if he's going to be 100% in this game. And as you can see, basically looking at the Missouri logs that I pointed out earlier, they have struggled quite a bit recently, and some of that may have to do with the Bryant injury. Overall in this game, our handicappers, as a consensus pick, do like Florida to cover the 7. I do agree with them here. I think Florida goes into Missouri and keeps their SEC championship hopes alive. I do think that it's going to be tough for Missouri to turn this around. Their season kind of spiraling out of control, and I don't think this is a good spot for them to turn this around. This is Jeff Makinen at DRF Sports, Twitter handle @SportsDBExpert. Thanks again for watching and best of luck this Saturday.